bring here from Nationwide Insurance. They'll be saying a few words.
Hello, everyone. I just want to say that on behalf of Nationwide Insurance, we really appreciate the partnership with CIAA. CIAA talks about it. They're known for their excellence in the basketball tournaments. And one thing that Nationwide is also very proud of is that excellence, educational excellence for young people. So as you'll see, with Nationwide supporting the CIAA this year, just like last year, we donated $100,000 worth of scholarship fund. This year we will be doing the same thing. In addition to that, we'll be sponsoring the MVP for the men's basketball. Nationwide is very happy with our celebrity guest. And I was just telling Hill, I just saw him the other night on CSI. Not Miami, but New York. And I can actually tell him what happened in the last 2 episodes because I just love the show. But without further ado, I want to give you Hill Harper.
Good morning, everyone, and impending good afternoon. It's such a pleasure to be here. And Nationwide bringing me here is part of what I've been pushing for between partnerships. You know, Dr. King had a quote that I love, and I actually said this when I accepted my NAACP Image Award about a week and a half ago. One of his most wonderful quotes for me that's really underquoted is that he said that we are all tied together in a garment of mutual destiny. And the idea that someone who's a philanthropist and an author and an actor like myself, and then different corporations that are for-profit companies can figure out ways to work together to actually get initiatives done and reach out and gift books and do things that can enliven or uplift people's lives. It's a really powerful and critical thing, because obviously the government doesn't have the money to do it because they're bailing out all these other people. So we have to work very hard and figure out strategic ways that partnerships can really work. And I think that this speaks to that kind of thing. Hopefully there's more and different ways we can do that, and more ways to come. And you all coming out here and supporting an event like this is critical. And so thank you. I've been doing a tour to HBCUs across the country called the Empower Me Tour, sponsored by the Wachovia Foundation and partnered with UNCF and my foundation, the Manifest Your Destiny Foundation. And what I've been finding across the country is that our young people are undereducated on the public school side of high school going into college. So many of our HBCUs are having to do the double work. The first year or two, they're actually having to get them up to college freshman level, and then they have 2 years to actually give them a college education, because the vast majority of the students can't afford to stay more than 4 years.
Wow.
And so it's really critical for all of us to think about how we can help and support, particularly in my mind, HBCUs and the work that they're doing. And also we have to figure out, my first book, Letters to a Young Brother, Manifest Your Destiny, was geared towards young black men. And if we're looking at the graduation rates of young African-American males across the country in major school districts, I was just in Baltimore City doing a talk, and the graduation rate of African-American males in Baltimore City school system is 27%. So I own a hotel and a couple restaurants in Los Angeles, and I promise you, if the city showed up and my success rate was 27% of serving food, they'd shut me down.
Right.
But we continue to allow these schools to undereducate our children. And then we say, well, you HBCUs or you community colleges have to make up for what we didn't do. And so I think all of us need to be mindful of that and figure out other ways, alternative ways to lift up our young people. I was just speaking in a youth detention facility or a youth prison, talking to young men who are incarcerated ages 13 to 17, each of whom are facing 10 to 25 years. And so having a conversation about goals and dreams and possibility. But what's interesting about it is that these young men still have goals and dreams. It's a matter of telling them that there's a way that they can do these things. And so it's really up to us that are moving around the world, have opportunity to have a voice, to look them in the eye and say, I love you. And I'll end with this. There's one thing that I say to most young men that I meet that are running into problems. And I look them in the eye and I say, how many times has an adult male looked you in the eye and said, I love you? And oftentimes the answer is zero. And so part of the responsibility of women, I believe, is to grab men who are adults and really check them and really say, are you reaching out to other young men? Every time we drive by a young guy who's in a white t-shirt that's too big on the street, we know he should be in school, maybe we could pull over. You get out and say, hey, what are you doing, man? I love you and I care about you. I want to see something happen. And so we really have to think about it. And I hate to shift the burden back to you women. But I can talk to a lot of my brothers till I'm blue in the face, like, yeah, brother, I got you. So it takes folks that are with them all the time to really bring them along. Because I would believe that the vast majority of men that you all are in contact with are the exact men that we need to get talking to these young men, if that makes any kind of sense. And then as far as young women go, like my book, Letters to a Young Sister, Define Your Destiny. For me, it starts with self-esteem and the bedrock of self-esteem. And that more men need to communicate, adult black males need to communicate with our young women in a non-sexual manner, non-predatory manner, telling them how fantastic they are. And that's why I have FINE in caps. It stands for You're Fine, which stands for You're Fantastic, Interesting, Necessary, and Exceptional. Right. And I want that mantra, and young women to say that mantra over and over. And I want men to be able to say, you're fantastic, interesting, necessary, and exceptional. And I don't need or want anything from you. I just wanted to tell you that. And so I'll leave with this. All of you beautiful women are fantastic. You're interesting. You're necessary. You're exceptional. God bless you. Thank you so much.